President Joe Biden on Wednesday predicted Russia will move into Ukraine, citing existential concerns by the country's president, Vladimir Putin, even as he acknowledged disunity within NATO over how to respond to a minor incursion. The candid assessment lay bare the struggle Biden faces in creating meaningful consequences and deterrents for Moscow, which remains closely intertwined economically with the United States' top European partners. The remark elicited near immediate outcry in Kyiv, where officials have been meeting with Biden's top diplomat as Russian troops amass on the country's border. High-level attempts to clean up the comment soon followed at the White House. While Biden vowed withering economic consequences on Russia should Putin send his troops over the frontier, including restricting its financial transitions in US dollars, he suggested Western nations were not in sync on what to do should a lesser violation occur. It's one thing if it's a minor incurs. But if they actually do what they're capable of doing with the forces amassed on the border, it is going to be a disaster for Russia if they further invade Ukraine. Later, asked to clarify what he meant by minor incursion, Biden said he drew the line at Russian forces crossing the border, killing Ukrainian fighters. "I think that changes everything," the president said. But it depends on what he does, to what extent we'll get total unity on the NATO front. It's very important that we keep everyone in NATO on the same page. That's what I'm spending a lot of time doing, and there are differences, he went on. There are differences in NATO as to what countries are willing to do, depending on what happens. The candid assessment of NATO's divisions, which have been well documented, even as US and Western officials seek to project unity amid the crisis, left Ukrainian officials aghast. One told CNN's Matthew Chance he was shocked that the US President Biden would distinguish between incursion and invasion and suggest that a minor incursion would not trigger sanctions. This gives the green light to Putin to enter Ukraine at his pleasure, the official added, claiming he'd never H. The White House sought to explain Biden's remarks by pointing out a Russian attack in cyberspace or through paramilitary forces would prompt a reciprocal response compared to a scenario where Russian troops move from their positions into Ukraine.